If you've watched any of my videos and I've inspired you to grow some flowers from seed, you may be wondering where you start. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the basics of what you need to get started sowing seeds. And let me tell you, it's not too much. I won't be focusing on sowing specific seeds. This is going to be a generic approach that I use for the vast majority of my flower seeds. If we haven't met before, I'm Nicola from Shropshire in the UK. I'm a gardener, home gardener, and I grow cut flowers. And I want to help you to grow your own cut flowers so that you can fill your house with flowers from your own garden. And I want to do it in a way that saves you time, saves you money, and not much cost. So we have an efficient cutting garden for you to always have flowers available to you. So the first thing to talk about is pots. Pots can come in a variety of sizes, shapes. You can use anything that you've got to hand. In fact, the best pot you can have is something that's available to you when you need it. You can use yogurt pots, although you will need to put in drainage holes. We've got egg boxes, which is similar in a way to these cardboard boxes that you could buy if you wanted to be particularly environmentally friendly. So the theory being that these and the egg boxes would decompose over time, so that there's no waste, no plastics, etc. You have, if you've got seeds that are have long roots, such as sweet peas or any sort of pea or bean, then you can have long root seed trays. You can equally use toilet roll holders. You can have individual pots, any size. They come in all sorts of sizes. You can have half seed trays or full seed trays. The one thing I would avoid is these. These are full seed trays, but they are really, really flimsy. They were bought at probably Wilko's, but there's probably Poundland. So you think you're getting a bargain, and we all love a bargain. So you think they're good value for money. But in actual fact, I've probably used this once, and they're ripped apart, they're bending, you can't move them about easily, hence why they rip. So I would be wary of those, because that is then you're buying cheap one-use plastic. Whereas something like this, which is a sturdier, deeper tray, well, it doesn't even need to be that deep, but a sturdier tray will last you for years to come. And then finally, if you want to get advanced in this, there are seed blockers. These again come in different sizes. Quite expensive to buy. The theory being you make blocks of compost, sow your seed in them, in those little blocks individually, and that's all you need. So you buy these once and then you never need more. So all of these seed trays are an option to grow seeds, and I have tried the majority. I will say what determines what seed tray to use is how long you're going to keep your seeds in the tray. So if you are just going to keep them in till they have their first few leaves and then you're immediately potting them on, then egg boxes are absolutely fine. The roots are not going to be that deep, and therefore the shallowness of the box won't make much difference. I have to say, these are much more substantial than an egg box, but I've never found them decompose that well. So if I have planted them in the garden, because I didn't want to disturb the roots of the plant, they kind of just stayed there. So I didn't really find these much use. With the egg boxes, and the same with toilet roll holders or kitchen roll holders, absolutely fine to use. But if you're planning on keeping your seeds for a reasonable length of time in there, and reasonable I would think is maybe more than a month. Some seeds take longer to sow or not. But the more you water cardboard, the soggier it will get. So whilst it's retaining it to keep the compost moist, it's also degrading the pot. So the longer you have to keep them in the pot, the worse that pot will be to handle. So that's just something to bear in mind, but it's absolutely possible to sow into those. The seed trays, if you were using something like this, absolutely fine. I have, of recent times, tried to get these extra deep ones. They're only, they're quite difficult to find. I think they're made by Stuart. I'll recheck that, and I'll put a link in the description if I can find something online as to where I got mine. But I find them extremely, the deeper they are, the better, because that means you can keep your seeds or your seedlings in the compost for longer. So you don't need to be potting them on as quickly as if they were in a shallower tray and they would be struggling. So as you can see, in this seed tray, we have some seeds growing in it. I sowed these on the 1st of June, I think. It's now the 4th of July. So this is just over a month's worth of growth. And they are not struggling in any way. I could leave those in for a bit longer and it would be fine. As it's July, I'm likely to be planting them out pretty quickly in the garden, so that isn't going to matter. But they will last for a while if you're waiting for the frost to pass or anything like that. So the main thing, you can use anything for pots. The main thing is know how long you're going to keep the seedlings in, because that will determine their survival. If you use a shallow tray like this, and I am knocking it, obviously. I've bought too many of them and they've been wasted too quickly to find that they're not really any value. The amount of money I've spent on these, I could buy 2 of the stronger ones and they would have survived much better. I'm just throwing these away. So these will need the seeds potted on much quicker, and that's where bigger pots come into it, which then means more pots, more compost, more cost. So if you can minimise the moving around of the plants from pot to pot to pot, then ultimately it will save you time. The next thing to talk about is compost. There is a wide variety of compost that you could use to grow your seeds, starting which could be seed compost. The theory being, when you are germinating seeds, they don't need much nutrition. However, once they start growing, they will need nutrition. So you can put them into a pot to germinate with seed compost, then pot them on into a more nutritional based compost. But if you are following my guide previously with the pots and you are potting them into a pot that is sufficient for their needs for the next 2 months, then there's only one compost to buy. Multi-purpose. Just get the best multi-purpose compost that you can afford. Ideally peat free, because we want to save the peat fields. We don't want to be releasing all of that carbon into the environment, but that's where we need to be. Just use multi-purpose compost. That's all I use. I use it for everything, or I use it for all my seed sowings. So there's enough nutrition in there to keep them in a tray for probably 2 months. If you're going to keep pots longer than that, then you are looking at potting up. So if you're planting a perennial that needs to grow before planting it out and needs to grow for a significant period of time, such as a year before they're big enough to be planted out, then you are going to be potting them on into different pots and therefore refreshing and replenishing the nutrition in the compost with fresh multi-purpose compost. But all you need to worry about is multi-purpose compost, the best you can afford. The next step in your seed growing adventures is watering. And you do need to be careful with this. So if you sow your seeds and then get a watering can with a rose on the top so you get a sprinkle, you always run the risk of dispersing the seeds to be in different places to where you place them, especially if you were being specific about where you place them. Many seeds are too small to be specific, but a lot are. A lot are big enough that you can place them and they will come out where you are. And if you're placing them so that they've got enough space to grow for a couple of months, you don't want them to be moved by your watering technique. So the best thing to do is water them from underneath. And to do that, I find that an old gravel tray or seed tomato tray, so the trays that you can buy to sit tomato grow bags in them, are perfect for watering these plants. So they're big enough that you can get a lot in one go, so you don't have to keep going backwards and forwards. So I fill the trays that I specifically find useful hold 4 full-size seed trays, and I just put the seed trays into the tray, fill it with water, leave it for half an hour, go and have a cup of tea, come back, take them out. That's sufficient. And it's enough to do that probably once a week, because overwatering is just as harmful as underwatering. And in fact, you probably do more harm by overwatering. So you can tell whether the seeds need watering by the weight of your pot. So when you're filling your pot with the compost in the first place, try and remember how light the pot is, and really you'll find that compost isn't that heavy, certainly dry compost. So once you've got your seeds in, once it's watered, if you then, before deciding to take out and water the trays, feel the weight, and if it feels quite heavy, then it probably is a sign it doesn't need watering. If it's feeling lighter than you expect, or is getting onto how it felt when you first sowed the seeds, then it's time to water it. I find that I only need to water it maybe once a week, and that's sufficient. Certainly if you're using deep trays, they hold enough water, even in the hottest of days. They hold enough water that will last a week. Obviously you need to judge that for yourself as to your conditions, your growing conditions, and so on, but you'll get into a routine and it'll become second nature. But do be careful, don't overwater too much, and I find this underwatering technique the easiest and most efficient way of watering your plants. Once you have all of your materials in place, so you've got your pots, you've filled them with compost, you've potentially pre-watered or moistened the compost ready to sow the seeds, then really each seed has their own instructions, because they can be sown at different depth, or whether they need light or dark. Some need more warmth than others, so I'm not going to go into the specifics of the seeds. Please do check the instructions for each seed, and if you are planting different types of seed in one seed tray, which is certainly possible, then make sure that they need similar growing requirements. So they need the same warmth, they're planted at a similar depth, so that it's just making it easy on yourself. As I say, lots of seeds have different sizes with different growing conditions. But the main thing to have success in growing seeds is providing that seed with the right growing condition. So you need to provide the right warmth for it, the right moisture level, and the right watering regime. So some will put up with quite a bit of watering, some won't, some like lightness, some like darkness to get going. So you really need to look at the instructions for that. But what I would do is, where possible, seed size dependent, because there are multiple seed sizes for every seed. They come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, so they all have different requirements. But where possible, plant them out in such a way that you've got enough space between them so you don't have to remove any excess or move them on or pot them on. Make it simple for yourself. Don't plant too many in the first place so that you're throwing away some of the seeds that you've planted. What's the point in that? So as a flower grower, I have a fairly reasonable sized patch here, so I can grow quite a bit of flowers, quite a lot of flowers. But in reality, I prefer to grow variety as opposed to en masse the same type of flower. So I find that a lot of the time I'm looking at only needing 5 or 6 plants per variety. You know, I could be planting lots of different zinnias, but different colours and things like that, so it provides variety at the right time. And that's all you should be aiming for if you're just growing for yourself. So don't plant too many, because they'll just go to waste. 5 plants, or if you plant 24 seeds in a seed tray, you'll need probably a metre of space to plant them all, at least, depending on the plant, etc., etc. So do be careful to not get carried away in the number of seeds that you sow. Base it on the space you have available, and then make your choice that's going to work best for you and give you the most variety for the longest period of time, so that you can get most bang for your buck. So that's it, my basic guide to sowing flower seeds. Not any different to any other seeds in truth, but anyone can do it. You don't need much tools, you don't need much equipment. You should be able to do it cheaply and easily, and it not take too much time. If you want to get involved in growing seeds, your own flowers, for next year, or even this year if you've got time, if you sign up to our newsletter, I will prompt you what to sow and when, so that you're sowing your seeds at the ideal time. I'll also give you tips and tricks for sowing and growing your flowers. So come along and join me, and I will help you have a flourishing garden with flowers to fill your house.